We have started. What is going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of Breaker Base, the 76th episode. Hurrah! And in this episode, we are going to be talking about the best and worst sci-fi channel movies, specifically the SyFy channel movies. I have with me today, again, we got awesome Ken here. We have the awesome MademB right here. And we're just going to jump into this because at least it's something we've all seen before. So, yeah.
Cheesy sci-fi movies.
So, I think I'm interested in. I kind of want to dive in, I guess, to some of this, like the channels, the shows too.
Yes, I love a lot of shows.
Galactica, Babylon
Definitely.
5.
Yes.
Which I'm naming TV shows I have not seen, but
Babylon 5 is an excellent series.
now I have seen Firefly.
Firefly is another excellent series and a good movie too.
Yeah.
Battlestar Galactica Reimaged is excellent. Definitely have to watch that show in high definition with a good surround sound system. It is well worth your effort and time. And watch all the movies too, because you got Razor, and you've got there's one other side movie that goes to the Battlestar Galactica series. As they did between seasons, they had like these small 1 hour, 2 hour movies.
Yeah, I seen that. I think on what was that? Farscape. Like the finale was, I think, a movie.
Love Farscape. Yes, another one of my favorite series.
All right, now the SyFy channel has been a while for a really long time. They have dived into everything from vampires to werewolves to aliens,
Chupacabra,
creature,
octopuses.
They have gone all over the place. Zombies, they have dived into everything.
Oh my god!
Now, I'm not gonna lie, most of them are pretty bad.
Bad and cheesy.
But they do crank out some pretty good ones after like every 15 movies you might get a decent one. And then after every 50 you might actually get a good one. But they've actually came out with some pretty interesting concepts, which is one reason I like the SyFy channel. They're not afraid to step into all of these different
well, most people kind of are, there's a group of people who like the old. When I was a kid, Friday nights, you had an Abbott and Costello, and you had one of the old B-rated movies like Queen Bee or Frankenstein's Son, just some kind of campy. Some of them were really good, for 1940s, 50s, and 60s. Some of those movies were pretty cool. But SyFy Channel kind of basically, there's Chupacabra right there. I knew I saw one.
And then the Dark Seas.
Yeah, Chupacabra. I knew they had a Chupacabra movie.
I saw some of that.
But they have there's a place in everybody's heart for some campy sci-fi shows, and like you say, every about 15th movie they'll have one that just is really good. But some of their story plots, even though they're not big budgeted, some of them actually they do more story than special effects, and which is what I think we both really appreciate the most. Is having, may not have a, $1 billion budget for special effects, but you know what? It's just a tool to tell you the story. I mean, look at the Twilight Zone. Hell, they used to have just a sheet to be some kind of creature, and you're like, ooh, it's so scary. But because it's the way they wrote the story.
Yeah.
And so
they have interesting stories.
We've got a plethora. I mean, you name it. I think there's a movie on SyFy about it. You need a rock monster. You need a snake story, ice spiders, ghost sharks. Even
they step into everything. If you name an animal, they have a movie for it.
Yeah, I think there is Boa versus Python, Abominable, Dino Croc, Dino Sharks. They did have a really cool Lake Placid series, so they carried on the storyline with Lake Placid, so it wasn't too bad.
I watched a little bit of one of them. I think it might have been like the second one or the third one, and I was watching 5 minutes of it, and then I seen some stuff that what was it? It was one part where these two people were arguing, and this huge alligator is walking up behind one of them, and I was like, "There's no way in hell this person did not hear that alligator."
Yeah,
and it didn't make any sense because the person he was talking to saw the alligator and didn't say anything.
You got like a 3-ton alligator coming up behind you. You know, it's not like it's going to be sneaking up on you.
In fact, let's before we get into our best and worst, and let's go into like the formula of most of these sci-fi movies. As I said, you have an interesting story. You always have some overpowered monster, whether they're too smart or they're just like invincible and have to be taken out in this like weird way. You always have the tropes when it comes to the characters. All the women are hot. Doesn't matter if they're grannies or not. They're hot. Everybody's in shape except for maybe one or two characters.
You have your token throwaway people.
Yes, which is like 90% of the cast.
And most of your women are good looking. They're also usually scientists.
Yeah. And if they're scientists, they're not scientists of one field.
Yeah, they know like 30 fields.
Yeah.
You have also that renegade Han Solo character a lot of times in these movies, especially any of the adventure movies. You have the so you do have a pretty good shot at disposable characters in a lot of these movies. You're like, what the heck? And then you have, of course, your unstoppable, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whether it's a bunch of ants or some kind of prehistoric creature that's just now thawed out a billion years later and still magically alive. Mysterious creatures like the Chupacabra and the Abominable Snowman and the saber-tooth tigers. You got to have
really
those.
bad. Yeah. That's one formula that almost never changes for sci-fi movies.
Yeah, they always got.
That's CGI.
Oh well, you can't bust up budget though. CGI works good in most cases. It works good.
So, what do you think about MademB? What are some of the tropes and formulas that you see with the sci-fi movies?
Well, I grew up watching sci-fi movies because of my mom, and that's what we had to do. If we wanted to stay in the living room, we had to watch sci-fi movies or all that. So you kind of got hooked onto it. So like whenever maybe it was a Sunday, one came out, one new original came out, and then she let us stay up late and watch it. It usually be, well, to us it was good. What else?
Like
like a reoccurring storyline or a reoccurring theme a lot in their movies.
A lot of
usually storyline is it's either based on maybe start with a group of teenagers, either in the summertime, mostly in the summertime, and then whatever's whatever I guess is the name of the movie or whatever, they hadn't heard about it, of course, and it ends up killing that group, and either maybe a couple months or something later, another group of teenagers come, and they hadn't heard about it, and they want to film it or catch it on film and sell it, something stupid like that.
Yeah, I heard there was a shark movie.
That shark movie.
I'm talking about any kind of other sci-fi movies.
Another thing they always have in the sci-fi movie, they got these like these insane mad scientists.
Very.
And then what happened? The scientists that go out their way to protect what's going around killing people. What happened?
Usually the scientist be Robert Englund. He plays a pretty.
Yeah. What's that other guy? That other English dude. He kind of reminds me of Sean Connery a little bit. Because he played in not Anaconda. Oh, it might have been an Anaconda movie where he was like the mad scientist that helped make it, and then it ate him.
Oh, the crazy guy with the winky eye.
I mean, all these movies, all of them have like a mad scientist. It's like, well, no, let my creation live and flourish. And what happens? The monster always comes back and eat them. You ever see that movie, Attack of the Sabertooth?
Parts of it.
The chick on there got ate, and she was the one advocating for the thing.
She's like, go ahead, do it.
Come on, do it now. And they get ate. But most of these tropes, they kill me with the tropes. And I'm with MademB on it. When I was a kid, I watched them all the time. I thought some of them were pretty good. I didn't like some. Now, I have a little bit more analytical eye when it comes to movies. And I realize that they're crap movies, but they're still enjoyable. I like the ideas. Like, okay, say like with the movie, I think Shark Night was produced in the SyFy channel, I think.
Yep.
And it was an interesting premise, and I liked a lot of the stuff that happened in the movie, but there were some elements like that I didn't like. And I do, and I'm not gonna lie, I love Sharknado. I'm just taking it. It is what it is. It is what it is. I like Sharknado. It's ridiculous, but I like it. But one thing I will say I do like about these SyFy movies, especially if it ain't just like a creature flick, like they had Sabretooth, they had the Cerebus, the Gargoyle, the Gremlin, the like movies like that. I like that. They're not afraid to step into those territories. But I also like when they like crossbreed species and stuff. The movies make sense. I mean, the movies don't make sense, but I think they're interesting ideas. Like, what was that? Sharktopus?
Yeah.
I guess an interesting idea.
Well, at least they both can swim.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like what did they do? What is that? It was something that flies and something that couldn't fly that they did. I forgot the name of it was. And then, of course, Piranaconda.
Wait, wasn't we watching that? It was like something in the water was fighting something in the air.
Oh, probably so.
I think we were watching something like that. It was like some kind of creature that was in the water was fighting something that was flying. And I was like, okay.
Mothra.
And I also like how if there is a series as a movie that was a pretty good movie, they will mess it up by making a series, and the movies do not be that good.
What, like
they've had a few.
No, Sharknado started off on there, but House of the Dead, it was a crappy movie, but the sequel was even worse. Like I said, I've seen some elements of the Anaconda movies, series movies. I don't know if it was Python or Anaconda.
Anaconda had like, it was like sort of after the first one.
Yeah.
And then they started hunting like a whole bunch of them where they started trying to find them for this orchid, and then it kept going on.
That was I think
just
it's
like just like the Python. Did you see if you saw the first Python?
Yeah, I seen the first one. Have you seen the first Python?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Like yes. That guy I was talking about that kind of reminded me of Sean Connery. He was in one of those movies, the Python sequels.
Yeah, I told you it was Robert Englund.
No, it wasn't him. It was somebody else.
No, I'm trying to think of the guy's name at the moment. It's sitting there. It's in the back of my head, but.
Well, what was one of the scenes? The Python came up on the guy, this military dude after he got through fighting with somebody else.
About Casper Van Dien?
No, not him. Although Casper Van Dien does be in a lot of these sci-fi movies, and he sucks in them. But specifically, Dracula 3000. I'm calling that.
Let's see, y'all.
Like that was an interesting idea. Dracula in space. Interesting concept.
John Voight.
How you say his
I think
name?
the guy you're thinking of is John Voight.
Let me see.
He was the guy that got ate by the anaconda and then regurgitated out and winked at him.
No, not that guy. I'm trying to Python recast. I don't know.
Okay,
Wonderful world of the internet.
Out of the ones, is there one that had like a pretty good story, and you was like, okay, I can totally get behind that. I can. Is there any? You can just name one or two.
I'm for the sake of this argument about the SyFy channel, I would like to say we won't count Dog Soldiers in this talk, even though.
No. That's not even a sci-fi movie.
Dog Soldiers was probably one of the best, but we're not going to call it. We're not going to call it.
We're talking like sci-fi generated /
I say Python. That was I watched that one a lot when I was younger. I could kind of get behind that movie. I'm not going to count Sharknado either. I'm going to go with Python.
I'll tell you one that was pretty wild is a movie called The Bone Snatcher.
I didn't know if you've seen it or not, but I got that on my list. I did watch it.
Yeah, that one was like, I didn't know what was going on, but then it's like, what? Yeah, that was pretty creepy. And that was actually one of the more decent movies.
Go ahead and break down what The Bone Snatcher was about, man.
Basically, the Bone Snatcher is that obviously, of course, we've lost communication with somebody, and a team goes out to find out what's going on. I think they're out in South Africa. They send a team out in the desert to find out why they haven't heard from these geologists at a diamond expedition, and they show up and they find like there's nobody there but just a thing of chewed up bones. Yep. And they end up going to this really weird rock formation, which really doesn't do anything for the movie. I don't even know why they even bring it up, but they find the camp and they find even more, cleanly gnawed bones, like just smooth and clean. In the night, there was a guy, if I remember right, he was sleeping out on a sleeping bag, and his sleeping bag was moving, but there was no noise coming out of it. When they kind of opened it up, the dude was just being chewed up by something, and then you can't see what it is. And then they see like something walking around. It looks like a moving skin on some weird looking creature.
Yep.
And it's walking around, and they go after it, and they kind of run through the whole rest of the story. They're basically playing a game of cat and mouse, trying not to get caught, but find out what's going on. And they end up, I think, at a old mining building or some kind of facility. And it turns out that what it was like these ant type things. I mean, the easiest way to describe them is like ants.
Yeah.
And they were forming using the bones as like a shell. Like create, the ants were the muscles.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a skeleton. And they really never got into exactly the whole background to it, but they ended up trying to kill the queen of the nest. And, a lot of people start dying left and right, and the building they're in is collapsing. And at the end of the movie, there's something that's going on. I'll save it for you so you don't ruin the movie, but something happens at the end of the movie that makes you go, what the heck? But they never really resolved the mystery of what the ants were. It was creepy. I mean, it was kind of wickedly scary, but it just, unfortunately, as a sci-fi movie, they just kind of leave it out there of what it was.
Yeah, because they made it seem like it's one monster, but it's actually a bunch of ants coming together, using the bones of their victims to like form this monster thing. I felt sorry for the one person I felt sorry for was that religious chick at the truck when they left her there to, I guess, look after somebody that got injured. And then
I think the guy got hurt in his leg or something like that.
Yeah. And what happened later on in the scene? You see their
Adios.
Yeah, you see that thing with her face on it.
Yep.
I was like, ew.
It was creepy. It was really creepy. The sleeping bag thing was kind of creepy.
Mm-hmm.
The guy didn't even have a chance to yell. They just took him out, and I was like, "What?" But I mean, it was something different. I mean, who would have thought of ants? You know, come on. You know, we had everything else, but we just had your plain Jane ants using a skeleton. What could be possibly wrong with that? I mean, come on. There's nothing scary about that.
That's a good point. Have you ever seen?
Different. It was interesting.
See that, and that's why I say I like their like the movies they come out with. They're interesting movies.
What was the other one I was looking at earlier? I mean, it was different. I mean, it was something unique. What was the other one? It had James Spader in it. Alien Hunter.
Oh, I hadn't seen.
As cheesy as it sounds, it was it's one of those, you know, kind of interesting movies. You know, of course, have the weird alien object that shows up at a group of people that are, you know, working at a facility to. I think they were trying to learn how to grow food, genetically modified plants in an Antarctic research base, and then they find the, you know, alien in a block of ice kind of thing. But it's there's a signal that keeps coming in. Of course, we know we have James Spader, who's one of my favorite actors.
A good actor.
You know, he's really young in this one. This is, well, I don't say really young. It's like 2003. But he, you know, he is a cryptologist, which strangely they happen to need one of those. And he's trying to decrypt a signal that's being transmitted from the box, or the thing that they found. And while he's figuring out what's going on there, some other clowns end up opening the pod or whatever it was, and like almost all of them just die, liquefy, and they're just done. And then a few of them are still alive.
You said, what was it called?
Alien Hunter.
Okay, Alien Hunter. I might have to check that one out.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. He ends up decrypting a message, and it tells him something that I won't explain, but basically it kind of releases a lethal virus. And some people are unaffected by it. Some people are quite affected by it, but they don't know who until it's, you know, it happens. You know, it's one of those interesting story plots, and I won't ruin the whole rest of the story, but it was kind of cheesy at first, but then I kind of got into the storyline, and it ended up becoming like, oh, okay, all right, that makes a lot of sense. Something different. Again.
Hey, let me hold you there for 1 second. I found out who the guy is.
Oh,
it's John Rhys Davis.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
Let's
see who it is.
He always plays in movies like those sci-fi movies like that. Most of the time, it's
yes.
He played in Indiana Jones too.
Yes, he was Indiana Jones. He was in Sliders. He was in Lord of the Rings.
I didn't know that was him. He played Gimli. I didn't know that.
Surprise.
Okay.
Wow, he's really old too. I didn't know he was that old. Jeez. He's like 73 years old.
I'm sorry, I found out what his name was. And it wasn't Python 2, it was Anaconda 3. That's the movie he played in. I was close. But
he plays a lot of sci-fi movies. He's been in a truckload of them.
Yeah,
there's actually several actors who have made a lot of rounds in the sci-fi. Jerry O'Connell has played a lot.
David Hasselhoff.
David Hasselhoff's played a lot of cameos and main characters. We've had
and you know, like MademB said, Casper Van Dien been in them.
Yeah, there's a lot of these guys that that's all they do is they make those circuits all the time, and it's just kind of crazy that you see all these guys and you're like, man, haven't they moved on to something bigger and better? But no, they're still there.
And it's funny because since they've been in the game a while, you would think they'd be able to beam something bigger. Like
some of them actually go from something bigger to the small screen. They just don't do the big movies anymore.
Okay.
You know, it's just, you know, I mean, you know, look at here, Alien Hunter. You know, we're talking just a 2003 movie, and then you know, a few years later, you know, he's a big star. You know, running in many TV series and movies. So, it's very interesting. Granted, we have campiness, but it's just very neat to see the variety of movies. And granted, again, some are really like, you know, you want a direct knockoff. Here's a movie called American Warships. Screams Battleship.
Yeah, they rip off
such a bad knockoff. It's such a bad knockoff. And there's a lot of knockoff movies too. I mean, there's they did Dungeons Dragons movie. They've done I'll tell you, I just ran across it. I was screaming across here. Another cool movie is Epoch.
I haven't seen it.
It's another sci-fi type movie where two objects just show up on Earth and they have a lot of things going on and they have to kind of, again, solve the mystery. It's kind of like that movie Arrival that just came out, not the Charlie Sheen version, but the one that just came out.
Amy Adams.
Yes. It's like a very, very early version of that. In fact, I think there's actually two versions of that movie, or excuse me, two of those movies, but it came out in 2003. It's really cool. It's definitely one that you want to watch, especially if you like kind of the evolving sci-fi series movies where, you know, you just got a little bit of information and then you and the characters discover things as you go through the movie.
Yeah.
Epoch is definitely one of those movies. And it's like, oh, wow, okay, I got it. There are two Epoch movies.
Yeah.
I thought there was. There's Epoch. When did that one come out? 2000, and there's another one in 2003. But both are pretty darn good movies. You'll definitely enjoy them.
I love
as you build this stuff.
I love the taglines on some of these movies. I'm looking at the cover for Snowmageddon, and it says "Hell has frozen over."
Oh yeah, there are some pretty funny ones. I was trying to see if I could find out one as I'm going through. I mean, there is a lot of sci-fi movies out there. And I mean, I'm on page like 15, and some of them are just distributed through them. Some of them are actually original properties, you know, a lot, especially the really cheesy, kind of crazy stuff. But I mean, you know, it is what it is. I mean, some of these movies are just flat ass bad. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean,
I'm asking both of y'all, are these movies meant to be just entertainment, not to be taken seriously? Because
I guarantee
Sharknado's bad, but I can take it for what it is. It is a ridiculous movie. But
it is. Well, that's what it is. You know, when we were talking earlier, you had these old 1950s, 60s campy movies. There's a whole niche of people who watch campy movies. You know, they love them. They eat this stuff up. I mean, there's people who know these movies backwards and forwards. You know, and it's crazy. And some of them, I mean, I can't take a lot of them serious. I mean, there's just so many that's like, what? Are you serious? I can't even believe they did that. But you stay and still watch it. It's like a train wreck. You don't want to look, but yes, you're looking. You're going to be guilty of doing it.
Sharktopus, 50% shark, 50% octopus, 100% deadly.
There is so many good ones. Especially when they started going into the more monster, you know, like the campy monster, like, where is it at? Come on, where you at? Is it Mega Piranha? I think I was catching that one. Piranha escape from the Amazon and eat their way towards Florida. Come on, I mean, really? Oh, there it is. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I just clicked on it. Come back here. Piranhaconda. Oh my god. And it's funny. I mean, you're like, these guys smoking when they came up with these movies.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that? All death.
Have you seen the movie Mimic?
Yeah.
Did you see the sequels?
Did not, but I you know, oddly, you were talking about that, and the other day I was like, you know, what was that movie? And I was trying to remember it. And I was like, you know, it was such a crazy movie, and it was like freaking awesome. And then I realized there were two other sequels to it. The second one, they say, kind of blows, but the third one makes sense to the first one. But yeah, I need to watch those because that movie was kind of creepy. You know, it's kind of like the Ant movie, except this one's like giant cockroaches or whatever it was.
Yeah.
because they look like people.
Good story.
It was very good. Yeah. It was very different.
We found that movie. I'll tell you, it was a creature that was in the water fighting something that was flying. It's a Sharktopus versus Terracuda.
What?
It's half pterodactyl, half barracuda.
Yeah. Oh my God! Where did they pull that one from?
Did they?
I don't even see that on my. I don't even see that on my list of movies I'm looking at. That must be really bad.
We watched. We did.
I see Sharktopus. What was that other movie? Rise of the Gargoyles, I think.
Have you ever seen Ghost Shark?
No, I have not seen Ghost Shark. I saw the movie thing here just a minute ago. I was like, Ghost Shark? Was this Pirates of the Caribbean 5?
About this legend. They killed a shark. They said it couldn't rest until some ritual was performed. So until they laid it to rest, its bones were in a cave. How did it get in the cave? I even asked myself that. I asked my mama that when we first saw it. I said, how did it get in the cave? It was like deep in the cave and it was nothing but bones. Okay, I was like, how did it get in the cave? So
how do they even know it needs to have a ritual to put it to rest to begin with?
That's another thing.
An old man, they have the old man saying, okay, this is what it needs to rest. And I'm talking about, you can go nowhere near water. You can have a glass of water, it will come out and eat your ass. That's I'm gonna eat you. These men, they were at work. They were talking about the water cooler. The man saw something swimming around in the water cooler. Next thing you know, the shark came out and ate them. And then it
get out of here. Well, and so somebody somehow got the bones deep in a cave in the water. How suspicious is that?
Okay, I want to ask both of y'all this. Could y'all name me 3 sci-fi movies that y'all like? Like what? Like the 3 best ones, I guess you could say. And I'll give y'all some time to talk about that.
No, you always go first.
Oh. I guess I got to bring them back in. I'm sorry, I got to do this. And this is, in fact, I can't say nothing yet. I need to see if the Asylum is actually under the SyFy channel.
They make movies for it because I was just reading earlier when you asked about that.
So they do
they do mostly campy sci-fi movies direct to video. So they're a kind of a distributor to sci-fi, and they kind of, I guess, help do it. They've been working with SyFy since 2014. Since 1977.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just throw them down then. I liked I'm gonna go ahead and group all the Sharknadoes together. There's JB1. I do like Dog Soldiers, even though I said I wasn't gonna count that. But if I'm not supposed to count it, then fine. I will switch that out for Z Nation, which is one of my absolute favorite TV shows.
But that's a TV show, though. We're talking movies.
Well, I'm trying to cheat, man.
No, you can't do that.
Okay.
You just
okay. I do.
Because if you wanted to go that route, there's a whole bunch of series I could throw in there real quick.
Right.
Well,
no, we're on cheesy sci-fi.
Okay, I can only
cheesy sci-fi movies like Sharknado and Attack of the Chupacabra. And
I did like Dog Soldiers, of course. And I say Attack of the Sabertooth. And if that's not acceptable, there was one sci-fi movie that came out a long time ago, and I'm not sure if either one of y'all remember it, but it was about the world was taken over by spiders, but they weren't spiders. They were like spider-human hybrids. It came out a long time ago. I've been trying to find out what the name of that movie was, and I cannot find it.
Well, I've been trying to find this movie that my mama said she seen back when she was younger, and it's nowhere on the internet. It was like she said she was for sure she saw it. She said it's called Attack of the Giant Tit. I want to see it.
Tick.
Titty.
Oh, I think I heard of that.
I haven't seen that one.
Sounds
like something off you find on the porn channel.
Let me see. Attack of the Giant Tit. I'm looking it up right now.
So am I. Well, there's no. That's all YouTube.
Attack of the loose boob. Attack of the killer boob.
Attack of the killer boobs.
Monster. See the big.
Got kids watching this. Whoa! Wait! Here it is. Hold on. Wait for it. I think I may have found it. I think. Let's see what this is.
I'm scared to click on some of this stuff because I might end up going to something else. Let me stop looking that up.
You've been infected. Have a nice. Oh, that's what. That's not even. No. I'm going to say that's a big no on that so far.
See, look at some of these titles. Transmorphers. Of course, it's a rip off of Transformers. We have Atlantic Rim, which is a rip off of Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim.
Snakes on
the Asylum.
Paranormal Entity.
They do have some winners.
Have you named your 3 movies?
I couldn't remember what the name it was. I described it.
Well, he kind of threw in all the Sharknadoes. That's like 5 movies.
Yeah. I count that as
under one title.
So I'd be like, okay, Sharknado, Dog Soldier, and whatever that spider movie was. I can't remember what it is, and I've been trying to find it for a while.
Well, I like The Bone Snatcher. I like Riverworld.
I still ain't seen it.
Actually, I think that was like a mini series, but it's like a 6-hour-long movie to me. I do like Dog Soldiers, even though I don't like scary movies that much, but I do like Dog Soldiers for sure because it was so different.
It's a good movie. It's a good werewolf movie.
Scary and creep the hell out of you. Watch that movie.
Great. It's a practical effects.
It's nonstop, and it is a wild ride. Because I didn't even know what to expect watching that movie, and I really do not like scary movies. I'm not saying I'm like that big of a chicken, but I'm not a horror movie fan by trade. But yeah. I got caught into that movie and just kept on watching it, even as crazy as it got. I stayed with it because I was like, "Whoa, what's going to happen next?"
Mm-hmm.
Time and watch. Dog Soldiers is one of those just off the wall, but man, if you like scary movies and you like a pretty decent story, that's the one to watch.
They ripped off another one, the movie Fury. Now they got a movie called Ardenne's Fury, and it's about a tank. Really
angry.
I'm done. I'm done.
Okay, it's my turn. I'm not trying to.
Did we watch that movie together?
I don't know.
Oh, did you ever watch? Is this the right movie?
You go ahead and pick your 3.
We didn't watch some of them I've seen. But after so many of these alligator movies and shark movies, they had came out with it was an original one. Or I might heard something back in the day, but I liked it. My sister liked it. My mama liked it. Every time it comes on, we would watch it. It was like then they would do an encore, and we would just watch it again because we liked it. It was original after all that we had seen. Raging Cajun Redneck Gators.
What?
Stop me if you've heard it.
I haven't.
Raging Cajun Redneck Gator. Get out of here. I've got to see what this is about.
Yeah, it is I like it. It's very good.
Wow, let's see what we got going on here.
No, I'm dropping
It's
that.
a 2013 movie.
I'm sorry. I'm like, okay. Let me say it again. It was Dog Soldiers. I'm not going to count Sharknado. I say that Spider movie, and I say Python. And you know what? I mean, let me rewind that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay.
A minute. Can I get this one in?
You know what yours is? I'm gonna say my last time. That'll be it because I know I'm running it. It's Avengers Grimm, Python, Dog Soldiers. Those are my three.
If the rednecks don't get you, the gators will.
I like it. These two different clans. They've been fighting each other, got some kind of beef with each other. One of them don't want them making moonshine or whatever on their land. So they dump the messed up moonshine into their lake, their swamp, or whatever. It's like the moonshine is messed up. It can't be drunk. The gators drink it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they form these red things around their neck, which is why I call them redneck. But, you know, okay, we thought, okay, this is going to be like another gator movie. All of a sudden, there's these redneck gators everywhere. But people notice that some people are also missing. So we found out later on that the people, they killed the gators for food, of course, ate them. Mm-hmm. Then they themselves turned into the gators. It was a good movie for me. They actually, after eating the, messed up gator meat, they themselves begin the metamorphosis of turning into redneck gators.
It's like werewolf alligators.
I just found the name of the Spider movie I was talking about.
You really gonna mess me up on there?
Okay, what was your next two then?
I'm talking to Ken.
No, I'm listening. Anyway. I'm listening to about with the redneck gators. You eat the mutated alligators, therefore forming a red.
Well, if they bite you too, you turn into an alligator, according to what I was reading too.
Oh, sweet. So that's what it is. Not where your last two is.
Anyway, the reason I like the movie is because that's not funny.
I see a thumbs up.
And it was different for me. It wasn't just like your normal alligator movie or your normal. I ain't never seen a redneck movie like that, but
wow,
it's kind of like a werewolf redneck movie.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see too many of them. The werewolf size. Anyway, I liked it. It kind of drew us in as teenagers, but I still like it. I wish I could actually find it and watch it.
So, redneck. What's it called?
Redneck alligators.
I was listening.
Wow.
I was listening to the details of the movie, not the title.
Right.
Cajun redneck alligators. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Raging Cajun redneck alligators.
Gator,
there you go.
Not alley.
Ooh.
Alligator. They taste so good. They want to eat you up alive. Ooh.
I'm gonna get your opinion on this top 10 list of the top 10 least bad. You still ain't got your team.
You doing it, don't you? You want made a top 10 list just
no, not me. Not mine. No.
He's lying. His lips are moving.
On the robot voice, top 10 least worst movies.
Top
and
10
I want to
worst
see.
movies.
Okay, yeah, top 10 least terrible Sci-Fi Channel original movies. And he put Sorry Sharknado.
Everything.
Mega Python versus Gatoroid. Y'all seen it?
No. Sadly, my sci-fi campy movies has been limited as of late.
Chupacabra, Dark Seas. I seen some of it. One thing I didn't like about it was the creature was no bigger than a regular man, but bullets didn't affect it.
That's a chupacabra. It's a goat sucker.
Leprechaun's Revenge.
The Leprechaun of Warwick Davis, or the Leprechaun of we just made some movie and.
I think they just made some movie. Well, we'll finish this list and we'll keep it pushing.
I thought we seen Leprechaun's Revenge.
No, that was Leprechaun Origins.
Which was stupid.
Yeah. Merlin and the Book of Beast.
No, I hadn't heard that one.
Anonymous Rex.
That sounds stupid.
An anonymous dinosaur?
I've seen it.
Basilisk, the Serpent King.
I have actually seen that one. That wasn't that bad, but it wasn't great.
What about Mansquito?
I think there was a takeoff of the Harry Potter.
I'm thinking it too. What about Mansquito?
I have seen parts of that movie, and it's kind of a weird. It's just weird.
It's a ripoff off The Fly.
It's not like The Fly. It's much more different. It's
okay.
much more different, but cheesy nonetheless.
What about Sharktopus?
What about, have you ever seen Soul Keeper? I have.
No, I haven't seen it.
I would wonder why they. Okay, this is a sci-fi movie. We actually had the movie. It was a pretty good one, according to me and my sister. These two crazy dudes. I'm sorry to be an interruption.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, it was
about another 5 minutes. Go about 5 more.
That's the way we roll.
Soul Keeper, Ken.
Doesn't ring a bell. I'm reading about it real quick. Actually, I may have caught some of this.
These two dudes doing odd jobs for somebody they never seen, and then they. Quite how they got up into that business anyway. Anyway, it turned out it ended kind of sad though. But
what was it about?
Look it up.
Well, I'm actually last two. The Amazing Screw on Head and the movie Mammoth. Y'all ain't seen either one? That sucks because I ain't seen none of these on here. Wow. I feel bad.
Roses in the corner of glass.
Just so keep. Two thieves compete with a madman in their search for an ancient relic, which can create an army of evil souls.
Returning souls back to Earth. The Rock of Lazarus. In return, he guarantees 8,000 up front, 100,000 when the job's done. But soon troubles arise as they encounter demons and Simon Magnus, an evil sorcerer, believing he is the Son of God. Oh, that sounds like a winner.
I mean, the way you said it.
Well, it's interesting because they're trying to steal Abraham Lincoln's stovepipe hat from a Civil War reenactment. So
they actually got it. It was messed up.
This sounds like a what is that movie? It sounds like a knockoff of one of the treasure movies.
National Treasure.
Except with the National Treasure with the supernatural side of. There's another movie. I mean, it almost sounds exactly like it.
Goblin.
Philosopher's Stone or something like that. And they end up finding it or whatever, and they're a bunch of idiots. They literally stumble upon everything completely by accident, even though they're a bunch of morons, and end up portal and all kind of crazy stuff. And then through again their stupidity, they end up, saving the day. But it's kind of like a Ghostbusters / National Treasure / Three Stooges show with a supernatural element on it. Very weird movie, and I can't remember the name of it at the moment, but I'll find it. But yeah,
we're gonna go ahead and just cut it right here, y'all. So thank you guys.
Snippy snap.
Thank you guys for joining us in on this sci-fi movies discussion, best and worst. We got all our opinions on this. Of course, there are so many movies that it's just hard to just fit everything into the 45-minute segment. But of course, we're probably going to come back in here, and I'm going to try my best to break it down even further so we can see, like, I don't know, possibly best sci-fi monster movies, zombie movies, action movies, whatever. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching this. Watching us be silly, and in the comment section below, let us know which one of the best and worst sci-fi movies, sci-fi channel movies, in your opinion.
Keyword.
One of the best and worst. Well, I'm sci-fi channel. I'm messing up. But anyways, hit that like, share, subscribe, and notification button to get the best of what this channel got to offer. And we'll catch you guys on the next video, which we will be actually talking about sci-fi movies, not sci-fi channel movies, but sci-fi movies in general.
Wow, way to finish it off.